welcome back. Hope everybody's well. I'm just going to say something about what I'm noticing on the high streets in all the towns and cities that I travel to. So the wife and I, we go to a lot of different cities and towns up here in the north of England, and over the last couple of months I've noticed lots and lots of street preachers, lots and lots of Christians on the street screaming and shouting, proclaiming the good news about Jesus. Now, I'm a Christian, I believe in Jesus, I live my life that way, and I always live my life like that, but in the time that I have lived my life to the rules of Jesus. When I say rules, it's not about what I have to do, it's about what Jesus is doing for me, and it's just about how I live. So there's 10 commandments, and very simple. You don't lie, you don't steal, you don't become envious of what other people have or have not got, you don't judge other people, you stay faithful. So faithful to friends, faithful to your wife, you know, all that kind of simple stuff. It's just the easy rules, and when you do that, there's no backlash, you know, things don't go wrong and collapse like the man who cons and lies his way through life. It always comes on top. So going back to the Christians that I'm seeing, a lot of them are immigrants, a lot of them have come here for a specific reason, and have a conversation with any of them and you'll get the same story. In these African countries where they came from, it was predominantly, like say for instance Zimbabwe, predominantly a Christian country for a long time. You know, people went to churches, life wasn't that bad, and then slowly over time other faiths took over. They were kind of outbred, and as they got stronger in number, they got stronger in society, i.e. in power, within the police, within the military, within the government. And over a relatively short period of time, it became very dangerous to be a Christian, to the point where, you know, you could be murdered for preaching in the streets. I spoke to a guy who went to, an African who went to Jordan, and while he was there he was talking to someone about Jesus. The police come and got him and banged him up in jail, you know, for having that belief. But that wouldn't happen in a Christian country. So it's important that we get our Christian values and hold on strong to them, because if a man is going to have to leave his continent and come and live here because he's not safe being in his own country as a Christian, and he comes here for refuge, we need to value that. So don't leave it to the immigrant Christians to stand in the street and warn of the dangers of different religions, different beliefs, different moral structures. Just do it yourself as true Englishmen and women, you know, Europeans. Yeah, and that's all I've got to say on that one. And it's not difficult. You don't have to pray 5 times a day, you don't have to dress a certain way. All you need to do is do a bit of research. You'll have a mobile phone, do a bit of research on Christianity, find out what it actually entails, find out about the 10 Commandments so you don't lie. Sir, quick one here, have you ever told a lie? Have you ever stolen anything, something big or small? Have you ever, I don't know, committed adultery, you know, gone with someone else, or flirted with someone else, or even looked at someone in a sexual way who's outside of your relationship? If so, that means that you're a lying thief, adulterer. If you've used God's name in vain, you've committed a really bad crime there in the eyes of the Lord. You're a blasphemer. I mean, it's government we're talking about, blasphemy laws. But they weren't talking about it in regards to Christianity. And it is serious, you know. It is something that you can do something about. So have a look at the 10 Commandments. If you feel like you're breaking them, all you've got to do is start believing in Jesus and his manual for life and the best way to be a good human being. Random acts of kindness don't do it, believe it or not. They just happen as a side effect of living a Christian lifestyle. It's no good going and giving 20 quid to a stranger and then ripping another stranger off for 400 quid on some skanky business deal, you know. Random acts of kindness, they just become part of life for a Christian. So get a Bible, read it now and again. It will become a bit of a habit when you start seeing if you believe in Jesus and put your trust in him. Now, he's not going to turn up and sit next to you in the flesh and say, look, I am real. But just believe in him, you'll start feeling different in here in your heart. You'll start thinking different, you'll start speaking different, you'll stop swearing. You will find yourself compelled to tell the truth and not tell little lies to make people feel better or stop you being in awkward situations. And then, because of the change in lifestyle, you won't be in them situations where you're compelled to tell lies to get you out of stuff, because you won't be getting yourself there anyway. Anyway, I'm determined not to be what people call a Bible basher, but I do feel like belief in Jesus, being a Christian, being a better man, has helped me and turned me around. And trust me, I've tried everything. I've looked at every religion, I've done cold water therapy, I've done everything, you know. I've done all this, what do they call it? When you call it down from the universe, you know, all these books that you can get, universal attraction. I've tried all that, and yeah, you may get some benefits, but it don't make you feel any better inside, and you always feel like you're chasing something. So my challenge is, try Christianity for real. Believe in Jesus. Get a handle on what the 10 Commandments are. Do it for a while. Don't break any of them rules and commandments. And after a while, you'll feel the Spirit in you. And that's not me being like a nutcase. What I'm saying is, you'll feel different inside, and you will not feel right doing them bad things or them things which were working against you. You know, you will always feel convicted to do the right thing. Anyway, have a great day. Let's take a handle or learn a lesson from what happened to the people who lived in other countries where Christianity was overrun and they had to escape, because trust me, things keep going on as they are. As a Christian, you won't be able to preach in this country. You won't be able to read your Bible in public. You won't be able to talk about Jesus, you know. It will become dangerous for you. And then the only other option is to join a different team and live falsely on a religion that's false to you, and there's no way to live. So anyway, everyone have a wonderful weekend. It's Easter weekend. Have a look what that was all about, you know. We're celebrating it for what it is, a Christian festival. And Jesus came and was crucified and rose again to pass over all this. You know, have a read into it, educate yourself, have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. And yeah, please give me some comments, get back to me, give me a share and a like if you like this sort of content. God bless. Peace.